Right, welcome back to another video. How y'all doing out there? Hope everyone's doing great. Gonna try to make this one a short one this time around, hopefully. um really don't have a choice because I'm limited to what the video is. But I just wanted to bring a quick rant, I guess you can say, with the new Path of Exile 2 game that just came out. Well, it's not out yet technically. It's an early release. And with going back to this Path of Exile, the first one, trying to level up some characters, I got one character not really high, but I think I got it to level 70 maybe. And then I accidentally bricked the character, so I can't play it anymore. So I restarted with a ranger, I think this is, and just to test it, just to get because I do want to play the new Path of Exile. I've been trying not to watch a bunch of reviews on it, because not saying I don't believe YouTubers, but YouTubers have a bad history of overhyping games in an effort to build a community for their gain, I guess you could say, which I understand. I get it. I'm not saying some of them may actually enjoy the game. The game looks good visually. Obviously, I haven't seen much gameplay or reviews of that sort. But visually, the game looks great. Visually, this game looks okay. I do recognize that it's an old game. My biggest gripe with this game, one of the biggest gripes with this game, and I hope it doesn't follow it into the next game, is the armor in this game. The armor in this game is extremely whack. Granted, I haven't gotten to the end game, but I personally would say, in my experience, any other game that I played, RPGs, whatever, MMOs, I feel about at least level 30, maybe 40, you start noticing an increase in armor quality, especially visually. You would notice an increase in the quality of the armor. This game, I've seen some characters that are level 100 and they still look pretty whack. The only time I see characters that look like special, I guess you would say, the word, lack of a better word, is when they've bought something out of the store. And that's kind of whack. I mean, in the game is free to play. I understand that maybe the philosophy on this game was strictly gameplay and they didn't really care about trying to have like cool looking armor. They just wanted, a game experience to be the forefront, and then to make money for the game, they just kept all the cool looking, quote unquote cool looking stuff in the store. To me, I feel like that's kind of whack. Like, of course you want to make money for your game. I get that, but keeping all the, to me, good looking armor that you would think would be in an ARPG or MR game like this in general behind a paywall, it's disappointing. I will say it's very disappointing. But hopefully that doesn't follow it in the next game. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I don't have my hopes too high, because the main reason I wanted to talk about this is, to me, which I get a lot of people, might not care, and I respect that. But the fact that the game is being touted as this, masterpiece of free to play, yet when I went to look up the price for the early access, it's $30. 30 bucks for, I'm assuming, for what I've been seeing, it's probably about half the game. 30 bucks for half the game. And apparently it's going to be in early access for the next 6 months. That is a long time in the gaming world. You know, games can come and go in 6 months, believe it or not. So to me, I feel like the game isn't really free. It's $30. Now, I believe after the 30 days, after the 6 months, I mean, those people who have paid for the early access $30, they have to redo their characters. I think. I don't know. I think it doesn't carry over past the 6 months mark. So you know, I guess that doesn't give them an unfair advantage to the to everyone else who's going to be playing it after the 6 months. But in my opinion, the early access should have just been free, and the release of the game should have just been $30, because the amount of people who are playing the early access is pretty high. I believe, I think they've gotten 1 million players so far or something I've seen. I could be more, could be a little less. At $30 a piece, that's a full release game, in my opinion. That's, you know, that's a AAA. That's a AAA release. Almost. I mean, granted, AAA games usually are like $50, $60, but with maybe less people playing, you know. So I feel like with the amount of people playing that game, you know, that's a full release, you know. And to say like we're going to be completely free to play and, you know, all this other stuff, I feel like it's a bit, to me, you know, maybe I'm just hearing it wrong or thinking about it wrong in my mind, but to me that just sounds like you're getting people to pay for the game to fund the free to play model before you even release it for free to play. And, you know, hopefully, if you know, that's how they want to play it, I mean, you know, more power to them. It's their game, but it just comes off as a bit of a, I don't want to go as far as say lying, but it just comes off as disingenuous. And hopefully, if that's how they want to play it, if they can make their millions of dollars in the early release phase, and by the time the free game comes out, then maybe they won't explode their shop with a bunch of cosmetics in an attempt to make more money off the game and sacrifice the in-game armor in the process. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because like I said, the armor in this game is just bad. You know, you look like my character here, my ranger. You know, I was expecting, you know, cloaks and some Lord of the Rings type of shit. You know, I would take that honestly at the end of the day, but I just look like a run-of-the-mill guard on a wall somewhere in in medieval Europe or some shit. Like, I don't know. I look like cannon fodder. I don't know. Like, I'm the first to die when the attack starts. It just looks bad, and it's kind of mismatched too. And it doesn't, I mean, I guess it fits like an archer, like I said, but a ranger, it doesn't really fit to me. It looks very odd. It kind of throwaway armor. Like I said, I get this game's old. I want 1000%. This game came out what, 10 years ago or something like that. But that's not, as far as these games go, the polish of these games, that's not that long ago. I mean, that's pretty deep. I think it's 10 years. If it's more than that, then, you know, my bad. But that's pretty far into the genre that cool armor was a thing. Like, you know, I don't, maybe it was too much effort, too much dev time to try to make a bunch of cool armor, but it came later, I'm assuming, into the game's lifespan, to where it's the shop, like I said, it's just completely full of a bunch of armor, a bunch of cosmetics, like the most elaborate cosmetics too. Lights, sparkles, lightning, dragons, pets everywhere. I mean, it's just, it's riddled in the shop. They could have added that in late game. I feel like they could have added that into the game later on in its life cycle once they realized, like, oh, you know what, our armor looked pretty bad, and we should probably add it into the lower levels, all through the grind from level 10 to level 100. You know, they should have added in new cosmetics into the game just to give people, you know, something else to look at. I mean, obviously you want to make money, that's the goal, right? You want to be profitable. You need to have the servers open, you need to pay devs to, you know, update the game as they go along. I get that, but I don't think, you know, like I said, you should just have it all in the shop, and throughout the game it's just nothing from what I can see. From what I've seen people, like I said, I've seen all levels from playing this game, from low level to like I said, level 100. I don't know if it goes past 100, but the level 100s all have store-bought cosmetics that I've seen, and the ones that didn't, they look pretty standard. So that's just one thing. Maybe that's not what this game is about, and I'm just missing the point. That's completely possible. And if that's the case, then yeah, I'm just barking up the wrong tree, I guess. But yeah, I just feel like the game just seems like it's missing a lot of stuff. The campaign so far isn't that great. I don't think people have said the campaign in this game is great anyway. So hopefully in the new one, and the new game, the campaign is more engaging, and the armor, like I said, the cosmetics are are better. But 6 months is a long time, and I don't think people are going to lose interest, because people are really hyping this game, the second one anyway, to the moon. Poor Diablo 4, you know, is going through the ringer right now. I have played Diablo 4, obviously. I haven't played the new expansion because I just didn't want to pay for it. I have the Game Pass, and that's as much effort as I'm going to put into purchasing games at this point. Maybe that'll change, but yeah. So Diablo 4 isn't horrible. It isn't bad. It's it's okay. It's pretty cool. I haven't gotten to the end game and all that stuff, but I've seen videos about it, and I do understand that it falls off pretty flat. But I will say the armor in that one, granted this is an old game, I get it, and Diablo 4 is new, but the armor in Diablo 4 to me is more elaborate. It fits the genre better to me of RPG, unless you're going for realism, I guess. You're more based in a realistic RPG, whereas Diablo 4 is more fantasy, but maybe they were going for realism as in the armor and PoE, but the actual like spells and attacks and monsters and all that stuff is more in the fantasy. That could be a thing. I don't know, but yeah. What was I? Oh yeah, I was going through the shop, just checking it out on this part. But yeah, the shop, man, look at this list. It's beast. Like that list, you can scroll down the armor cosmetics, man. It's look, boom, 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 bow, bow, boom, bow, boom, bow. They got crowns, they got hats, they got bats, they got mats, they got they got it all. You want it, they got it. It's there, baby. You know what I mean? I feel like in any other game, even though this is free to play, but like Call of Duty, for instance, which is a full price game, I understand that, but people give the cosmetics in that game shit from hell to high water, you know, and I don't really hear anyone talking about how the shop in this game is just bloated with all kinds of shit that you can buy. Like I said, you want your bow to have butterflies floating around it, they got that. You want your sword to, you know, shit lightning, they got that. You know, it's just you want a goblin with a chain baby attached to it, crying on your back while you traverse the slums. Yeah, they got that. You know, it's just weird. And again, I'm not saying it's bad, but it definitely is. When your in-game armor looks like this, it just hits a bit different, you know, for sure. If you want your best stuff to be in the shop, cool, not a problem, I get that, but don't have your shittiest stuff outside of the shop. You know, just have some dope stuff that people look at and they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then when you hit the shop, you're like, oh shit, okay, this is crazy. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I would completely be able to accept that if, like, again, maybe I haven't been to the end game of this, so maybe just the end game stuff is like
Still breathing, eh?
what you want to have, and all the other shit is just whatever. You just gonna look like a straight bum until you get to Mount Doom or something. I mean, maybe that's cool. Okay, I guess I get that. Okay, they're holding out, so I just gotta push this character. I got 6 months until PoE 2 comes out, and then I can move on to that game. But I got 6 months to push myself to level 100 to get to whatever the end game is on this, and then I can see the crazy cool armor they have there. Or maybe I ain't giving it enough time. Maybe I'm not patient enough, and I respect that. So let me just push till I get to that, and hopefully it changes. But like I said, man, PoE 2 is getting a lot of hype. Hopefully it's worth it. The $30 though, a little bit hard to swallow for me personally, so I'll be waiting for that free to play to drop. And if it's fun and that the game's dope, I would definitely be purchasing stuff out the shop at that point to support the game. But until then, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening to me rant. Some of you might not agree, and I respect that. I respect your opinion. But until then, man, I hope you have a good one. Peace out.